Hello, aspirants. Here is a question for you. Can you crack both UPSC as well as the state Group 1, that is the Telangana Public Service Commission Group 1 examination at the same time? Or is it just a myth? Okay. If you are juggling the dreams of becoming an IAS officer, of joining an All India service or a Central Group A service, and a top state government post, this video will give you a practical, step by step plan by which you can decide, combine, or even prioritize these two examinations without burning out. So, without a further delay, let's dive into the strategy. So, in this video, I'll cover the overlaps that are there in both the examinations, okay, the differences that are there, how these exams they are similar, how they are different, the realistic timelines for both the exams, as well as a subject wise strategy. Along with all this, I'll also give you a daily routine. I'll also provide you with a sample daily routine and a 9-month roadmap that you can follow to excel in both the exams. Okay. Now, before starting, let's discuss the UPSC Civil Service Examination, or the UPSC CSC that we call off. It is a national level examination and it selects the officers for the Indian Administrative Service, that is IAS, the Indian Police Service, IPS, and the other central Group A services like the IFS, the IRS, the Indian Railway Management Service, and the Indian Postal Service, and the other services. Okay. The TGPSC Group 1, or the Telangana Public Service Commission Group 1, it is a state level examination and it is for the recruitment to the senior state services in the state of Telangana. Okay. But these are different competitions in scale, in style, and in expectations. So both, all three, that is the scale of the exams, the style of the exam that is being conducted, as well as the expectation that has been from the candidates. Okay. The expectations that are expected from the candidates, these are different. So the first step is that knowing why you want both is step one. Okay. Why do you want to prepare for both these services? Okay. Is it like a backup? Okay. Or do you genuinely want to attempt for the both the services out there? Okay. Answer that question honestly before you design a plan for yourself. Okay. But many of the candidates, they consider attempting for both these examinations. And the reasons being, firstly, there is a syllabus overlap in the general studies. Okay. So in the general studies part of the syllabus, there is a huge overlap. There are common subjects like the polity, science and technology, environment, international relations, okay, history, the Indian history, the world history. So these are the some of the some of the areas of the syllabus which are overlapped for both the UPSC as well as the Telangana Public Service Commission examination. Okay. So one exam is the safety net, while if the other does not work out. So the aspirants or the candidates, they appear for both examinations so that one exam can act as a safety net. Okay. So these are highly competitive examinations and these are also highly unpredictable examinations. Okay. So for a safer side, okay, a candidate tries to appear or they prepare for both these examinations so as to provide a safety net. Okay. So that if one of the exam doesn't go as expected, or the things they do not work out in one examination, then that candidate or the aspirant can attempt the other examination. And some aspirants, they want both the state as well as this central career option. So in the initial stages, the aspirant is really confused whether they should be going for the top class state services or the central services. Okay. So therefore, they try to prepare and attempt both for the UPSC as well as the TGPSC. Now, before going forward, let's discuss a myth. Like, is it actually true? Like, is it a myth that you can prepare for the UPSC and TGPSC at the same time, or in reality, or it is a bit realistic that you can prepare for it or not? Okay, so the myth is that you can casually prepare for both and expect to clear them both in first attempt. Okay, this is a highly unlikely thing, and you can consider it as a myth. Okay, if you are just casually preparing for both UPSC as well as TGPSC without any focused, dedicated preparation, the strategic preparation out there, and you expect that with this casual approach, okay, you will be able to clear both these examinations even in the first try itself, then it's a big myth. Okay, but the reality is that you can prepare for both these examinations simultaneously, but the preparation should be focused with a structured plan. Okay, and this structured plan, it should leverage the overlaps and protect your or save your time for the state specific content, that is for the Telangana. Okay, doing preparation for both of them casually will likely result in neither turning out well. Okay, now this is the part where the syllabi overlap. Okay, the overlap in the syllabus, because you have to prepare structurally, a focused, dedicated preparation should be done. So you have to save your time, okay, by understanding which part of the syllabus is overlapping with each other. Okay, so the smart part of the dual preparation is the overlap. This overlap in the general studies paper. Okay, so the key overlapping areas are history, that is ancient, medieval, modern, the general topics. Okay, India specific history, the Indian polity and governance, the geography, that is Indian geography as well as the fundamentals of physical geography as well, the economy, the concepts of economy and the basics of the budget, the government budgeting, environmental and ecological fundamentals, and the current affairs. Also, the subject of science tech, the current developments in the science tech. These common or the overlapping areas, they are your shared engine. Okay, so if you build a strong GS general studies foundation, you can cover large portion of both the exam syllabus, that is the UPSC CSE as well as the Telangana Group 1 examination. Okay, but a small point to note here is that the TGPSC will demand deep local state level knowledge. Okay, so you should also be ready with the a deep understanding of the state issues. Okay, you should have a thorough knowledge of the state of Telangana, be its economy, its geography, its history, its movement, the Telangana movement, all these topics. So you should be well versed with state polity of Telangana, the local economy of Telangana, geography of Telangana, the state history of Telangana, which UPSC does not ask. So UPSC will not ask state specific geography or economy or the state specific history. Okay. So this overlap helps to a certain extent, but it is not everything. Okay, you need to prepare certain areas outside of this overlap as well. Okay, so where they actually differ, this UPSC as well as the TGPSC. Okay, so for the different part, for the part of difference in which they do not overlap, that part needs some extra time of yours. Okay, so differences to allocate separate time for the state specifics, that is the Telangana local administration, the state schemes, the state's history, state's geography, and statistics. Now, this is true for the Telangana Public Service Commission examination as well as the other state public service commission examinations if you are preparing simultaneously for the state commissions examination as well as the Union Public Service Commission examination, that is the UPSC. Then there is exam pattern and questions there. So there is a difference in the exam pattern. So TGPSC's prelims and mains can ask different kinds of factual or application based state questions. Okay. UPSC, it values depth, analytical answer writing, and optional subject specialization. Okay. So we know that UPSC, in UPSC, the 500 marks in the mains examination is dedicated to the optional subject. Okay. But in the Telangana Group 1 service, TGPSC Group 1 service, there is no optional in the mains. Also, there is a difference in the scheme of prelims examination as well. The Telangana TGPSC Group 1 prelims consist of 150 questions, okay, and it is a single examination. The UPSC CSE prelims, on the other hand, it consists of two papers, that is paper 1, general studies, 100 questions, paper 2, CSAT, general studies paper 2, having 80 questions. The merit is decided by the cutoff is decided by the first paper, okay. Then there's optional subject. For UPSC, you must prepare an optional, and that optional, it requires a lot of focus study. Okay, a huge amount of your time, many or months of your preparation will go towards this optional subject preparation. Then there is personality and interview focus. So UPSC interview has national and public policy tilt, okay, as well as some international relations or the geopolitical tilt. The state public service commission interviews, on the other hand, it will sometimes focus more on state issues and the administrative experience. Okay, so the interview panel or the personality board, the personality test board panel for both the state as well as for the union, it will be different. Okay, their expectation from the candidate will be different. Then, firstly, you must be deciding that which preparation or for the preparation of which exam you should be going primarily and which is your secondary preparation or your backup preparation. So you have to decide on your goal. Okay, you have to set a priority plan that to which exam you will be giving the priority, the group 1 examination or the civil service examination. Okay, so there are three scenarios. Okay, there are be three and out of that you have to choose one realistic strategy, okay, that you actually want. Okay, first is that UPSC is your priority and the TGPSC is your backup. Okay, so here you have to build a UPSC first study plan and integrate these state topics weekly. Okay, and it is good if you aim for the IAS IPS but want a state fallback. That means if you have to serve in your state, okay, so by joining the All India service, okay, if you have a good rank over there and if the vacancies do permit, you can go and serve at your in your home state as well. That is the state of Telangana. Okay. This second strategy or the second scenario can be you give priority to TGPSC and you consider UPSC as secondary. So if you want to secure a state career sooner, then you have to focus on TGPSC. Then use the GS groundwork that you have prepared for the TGPSC for your later attempts in the UPSC. Third is the equal preparation for the both examinations. Okay, equal dual preparation. Now, it is only recommended if you have more than 10 months full time preparation and you can commit more than 8 hours daily. This means running the parallel schedules and the strict time management for both the examination, juggling both the examinations. Okay. Now, which you choose depends on the availability of your time, like how many months you can spare, how many hours a day you can dedicate to the preparation. Okay, your stage of preparation, whether you are at a beginner stage or you are a veteran kind of candidate who have appeared or who have prepared for 2 or 3 years and are now just revising your concepts. Okay, you are prepared with all the concepts and also your tolerance to for the risk, like how much risk can you take while preparing the for both these examinations. Now, if when you have decided that which way you have to go, okay, So you have to design a practical weekly schedule out there. Okay, you have to now strategize. You have to plan your day. You have to plan your week. You have to plan the your months ahead. So it's a practical weekly template for someone who is doing UPSC on a priority and TGPSC as a backup. Okay, and if you are able to, if you can give 8 hours per day for to your preparation. So you can divide your day in morning. You can do the UPSC GS. Okay. The general studies for the UPSC. You can make tabular notes. You can read NCRTs, read the standard textbooks, the Lakshmikant, the Spectrum, and all that these books. Then in the midday, okay, 2 hours in the midday, you have to do your optional subject. Okay. And in the alternate days, you have to alternate your weekly days. Okay. So on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can prepare your optional. And on the days of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, you have to prepare the TGPSC state papers for the mains exam. Okay, the mains examination in the TGPSC, it consists of 6 papers. Okay, and the syllabus not 100, it doesn't 100% overlap with the syllabus of UPSC. Then in the afternoon, you have to do current affairs that are equally important for both these examinations, and do the answer writing practice. Okay, a 250 to 300 word daily answer writing you should be doing. In the evening, just revise your, do the revision with your flashcards or your notes that you have prepared in the day, and do the evening mock test. That is the prelims practice, the practice of this, of the objective paper. Okay. In the weekends, you do the full length mock, either UPSC prelim mock or the TGPSC mock, and have a state specific study block that is 4 to 5 hours, and rotate subjects weekly so nothing lags behind. You have to take all the subjects equally. You have to take all the subjects forward equally. Now the subject wise tactics, because many of the subjects they are common and they have an overlapping syllabus out there. So how you can allocate your study time and resources. For the subject of polity, the Lakshmikant is the go-to book, and along with the Constitutional Bare Act reading with the current affairs linkages. So make a chapter map covering both the national as well as the state governance, that is the state legislature, state commission roles, particularly regarding the state of Telangana. Then in the history, you have to do the NCRTs plus one modern India book. Okay. It can be Spectrum, it can be from Plessy to Partition, any of the book, and add state history modules like the local freedom movements and the notable leaders. Then the subject of geography, the NCRTs are the holy Bible for the GS geography, and then focus on Indian geography and state maps, reverse resources, and create a state map cheat sheet like very short notes with mnemonics and all that stuff for particularly for the for the state of Telangana. Then economy, you have to do the basic macroeconomy, clear your concepts, the macroeconomics concepts, read the budget, prepare the summaries. For state, learn the state's fiscal profile. You should be well versed with the fiscal profile of the state, the flagship schemes that are launched by the state government, and the agriculture profile of the state. Then in environment, you have to do the standard environmental notes. Okay, you can refer the NCRTs or the Shankara yes book for this. Okay, focus on state pollution and sanctioned projects in the state as well as the protected areas that are in the state. So for the state of Telangana, we have a separate video in which we have covered the all the protected, the environmentally important areas that are in the state of Telangana. Okay. Then for the UPSC, treat your UPSC optional as sacrosanct, and you have to do practice answer writing, cover all the previous year papers so that you are very well versed with the optional paper. Okay. Now, use monthly compilations. If you are doing the current affairs, use monthly compilations of the current affairs, but always convert those monthly compilations, okay, to the state context wherever it is relevant. Okay. So wherever relevant, you have to convert the current affairs modules, the current affairs text, the material that you are reading for the state of Telangana. Then handling the mock tests and the answer writing. So for the prelims, you have to do a 2 or 3 time practice test weekly, and you have to increase the frequency a month before the prelims. Okay, you can rotate for both the UPSC style prelims as well as the TGPSC style prelims. The UPSC style prelims, it consists of 2 papers, that is paper one, general studies, paper two, that is CSAT. Okay, and for the TGPSC, there is only one paper of 150 question covering both the general studies as well as the reasoning, the English type of the English part of the syllabus also. Then for the mains, you should be doing the weekly answer writing for at least 4 to 6 questions per day during the intensive months, that is months after your prelims preparation, the months in which you are 100% dedicated to your mains preparation. Okay, know the marking scheme and the model answers. Okay, the marking schemes as well as the model answers, they do matter. Okay, you don't just have to write the answer, you have to analyze those answers, and you have to enhance or enrich your answer based on the model answers that are provided. And you have to analyze every mock, you have to see what went wrong, you have to focus on time management and the question patterns. Okay, and you have to go through the previous year questions so that you get a bit of idea about the question patterns that can be asked in the examination. Okay, but during this whole preparation, one thing you must always keep in mind is your mental health. You do not have to go through the burnout. Okay, you don't have to go through the mental burnout. Okay, you have to prevent that burnout there. Okay, so the dual preparation, it raises the burnout risk, no doubt. It like preparing for both these, juggling both these examinations. Okay, it will be heavily taxing on your mental health. Okay, and will enhance your burnout risk. Okay, what you can do to protect yourself from this burnout: a fixed weekly rest slot. Okay, you have to like fix certain hours in a week. Okay, one dedicated slot. Okay, in a week for your rest. Okay, for your mental rest. So in that dedicated slot, you can enjoy any of the leisure activities. Either you can go for shopping, or you can play some outdoor games. You can go and visit your friends. You can go and visit your cousins, your family. You can watch a movie or series, something like that. Okay. Then you have to focus on your sleep and nutrition. By no means, if you are dedicatedly preparing for for both these examination, you should be sleeping for at least 7 hours per day. Okay, at least 8 hours also you can sleep. Okay, but at least you should be sleeping 7 hours per day, and you should focus on your nutrition. Avoid the fried, oily, as well as the very sugary items. Okay, reward yourself for every milestone that you achieve. Okay, so suppose you have set monthly targets and you have met or you have achieved those monthly targets, then you can treat yourself. Okay, you can give a small reward to yourself. Uh, you can treat yourself by some of the things that you want to eat, or by going on a 1 or 2 day trip, something like that. Okay, make a realistic study schedule and do not stretch beyond 10 to 12 hours daily for months. Okay, ideal is that you should prepare for 8 hours daily. Okay, but during the intense months of preparation, the preparation hours, they extend to 10 hours to 12 hours, sometimes to 13, 14 hours. Okay, but this should be an exception, not the norm. Okay, you should not go and study 12 hours, 13 hours daily for months at the end, at the stretch. Okay, so use micro breaks, switch subjects to reduce the monotony, and keep one day lighter every week. Okay, so for 6 days you have to slog hard, and one day per week you can have a lighter day. So here's a quick 9 month sample roadmap for you. Okay, if you are juggling both these examinations. Okay, but here the priorities on UPSC. Okay. So from first 3 months, you have to build your GS foundation with by reading the NCRTs, the polity, basic economy, and start state history as well as the states map work. From months 4 to 6, you have to deepen your optional preparation. Okay, you have to dug deep in your optional preparation. And now you have to revise the GS subjects and start answer writing and begin your weekly prelims mock series. From month 7 to 8, intensive mains answer writing practice, the timed writing, the state subject consolidation. In the ninth month, you have to focus on prelims final sprint, daily prelims mocks, alternative between UPSC and TGPSC style, revision and quick notes. So after prelims, you have to switch to the mains preparation as required. Okay. So if so, sometimes what can happen is that the calendar is not in your hands. So the UPSC prelims generally takes place in the month of May, and the mains it is conducted in the months of August and September. But the Telangana Public Service Commission, it can schedule the examination at any time of the year. So if the TGPSC paper, the Group 1 paper, lies between your UPSC prelims as well as or is conducted between the UPSC prelims and the UPSC mains, then you have to allocate uh, or you have to switch your preparation from prelims to mains depending on your uh, where you are standing in your preparation. Okay. Now, some of the mistakes. Now let's discuss the mistakes that the candidates they do make. So the mistakes a candidate can do is the first is the no prioritization. Okay. No prioritization means you are treating both the exams as equal. Okay. When your time is limited, but your time is limited and you are focusing on both these examination equally. Okay. You have to prioritize any one. Second is the ignoring state syllabus. Okay. So many of the candidates they ignore the state syllabus for the TGPSC, and even if they do cover the state syllabus, they do it on the 11th hour. Okay, they do it in the end. Okay, and so the preparation, the consolidated preparation doesn't take place. Okay, then over reliance on market notes. Okay, wasting your time like for arranging for notes or you know going through the notes through the market and choosing the right set of notes. Okay, you don't have to over rely on that. Okay, prepare on your own notes, trust your own notes and revise them as much as possible. Okay, and finally is no PYQ analysis. Okay, so you have to avoid these mistakes by making a clear timeline, doing frequent self assessments. Okay, the test that you have the mock test that you appear, you have to do the self assessments and treating the state topics that are there as non negotiable weekly tasks or the weekly targets. Okay, so for every week you have to cover certain portion of the state syllabus as well. Okay, do not keep on pending it or piling it for the 11th hour for the or the last hour. Okay, it the things then will go out of hand. So one thing you have to keep in mind is that the many candidates they clear the state and later they clear the UPSC or the vice versa. Okay. So many of the candidates they do clear both these examinations and they prepare for the examination simultaneously. Okay. It is not impossible, but it's strategic. Okay. If you plan, if you prioritize and study smartly by leveraging the overlaps in the syllabus, okay, by smartly covering the syllabus, okay, you can keep both the paths open without diluting your efforts. Thank you.